Hello everyone, welcome to Statecraft IS Academy. We have started a new initiative called Daily Current Affairs Discussion, and this is the third video in the series. So the PDF of this video is available on Statecraft's Telegram channel, Statecraft website, as well as in the description box of this video. So let's get started with the current affairs. In the beginning, we'll discuss some prelims related news, and going forward, we'll discuss some news which are more important from mains point of view. First topic is mice reign. So mice reign is actually a sudden rise in the mice population, and this has taken place in New South Wales, Australia. And this actually the sudden rise has been causing extensive damage to the cultivated crops and food grains. So it has been a huge problem for the farmers there. This mice reign is also causing a mouse plague. So this is an infectious disease which is caused by Yersinia pestis bacteria. So whenever we see the name of any disease, it's important to know what is the cause behind the disease, whether it is being caused by a bacteria or a virus or anything else. So in this case, it is bacteria, and usually it is found in small mammals and their flies. The disease is transmitted between animals via their fleas, as it is a zoonotic bacteria, and it can also transmit from animals to humans. The mice have a very short breeding cycle. So a pair of breeding mice can give birth to a new litter every 21 days or so. And also these mice are not very choosy about food. The rodents can cause huge damage to the food grains, domestic households, commercial businesses, farms, manufacturers and livestock. They can carry fleas or ticks that can harm pets and humans as well. Next we see a map of Australia. So here we can see that Australia is not bordered by any country as such. There are nearby countries, but it is not bordered by any country. So it is in between Indian Ocean and Pacific Ocean, and the nearby countries include Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, New Zealand. Next news is about RNA. So mRNA vaccines need to be stored at a low temperature. So why this happens is that there's a difference between mRNA vaccines. They need to be stored at a very low temperature as in comparison to other COVID-19 vaccines, because RNA is a much less stable DNA. So which is due to the sugars that the molecules are made up of. And the second reason behind the instability is the RNA is because of the shape of the RNA, which is single stranded, whereas DNA are double stranded helix. Next we see the difference between DNA and RNA. So DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid, and whereas RNA is ribonucleic acid. So these are molecules in a cell. They carry genetic information. In case of DNA, it provides codes for cell activities, whereas RNA converts that code into protein to carry out cellular functions. So DNA is double stranded, RNA is single stranded. DNA has deoxyribose sugar, RNA has ribose sugar. Their DNA has the ability to self-replicate, whereas RNA cannot self-replicate. Both contains a sugar, phosphate and a base. So there are difference in the bases of both DNA and RNA. DNA contains adenine, thymine, cytosine and guanine, whereas RNA contains adenine, uracil, cytosine and guanine. So RNA contains uracil, others are same. RNA contains uracil and DNA contains thymine. So that is the difference between the bases of both DNA and RNA. Next we'll look at plasma. So blood plasma, it is a yellowish liquid component of the blood. It holds the blood cells of whole blood in suspension. So it is a liquid part of the blood that carries cells and proteins throughout the body, and it makes up about 55% of the body's total blood volume. This plasma also contains viral antibodies that have treatment potential for several cases of the diseases. This plasma therapy is a medical procedure. We have been listening about plasma therapy. So it is a medical procedure that uses blood of a recovered patient to create antibodies on those infected individuals. Next we'll read about Samvedna. So it stands for Sensitizing Action on Mental Health Vulnerability through Emotional Development and Necessary Acceptance. So it is basically a toll-free helpline launched to provide psychosocial mental support for children affected during COVID-19 pandemic. So it provides telecounseling. So to children who are in quarantine, isolation or COVID care centers, who have COVID parents or family members or near ones, and children who have lost their parents due to COVID-19 pandemic. So we have been, actually everyone is going through bad times, and it is actually a very good step towards ensuring better mental health of children. So this initiative has been taken by National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, and it is providing tele-counseling to children through Samvedna. Next, we'll see what National Commission for Protection of Child Rights is. It is a statutory body, and statutory bodies refers to those bodies which have been established by the Act of the Parliament. So in this case, the Act is Commissions for Protection of Child Rights Act 2005, and it is under the administrative control of Ministry of Women and Child Development. The Commission's mandate is to ensure that all laws and policies, programs, and administrative mechanisms are in consonance with the child rights. It also inquires into complaints relating to child rights to free and compulsory education under Right to Education Act. It monitors the implementation of the POSCO Act as well. Next, we'll talk about Statehood Day of Sikkim. So recently, Prime Minister greeted the people of Sikkim on their Statehood Day. Talking about the history of Sikkim, it was founded by Namgyal dynasty in the 17th century. So it also became a princely state of British India in 1890. Following the Indian independence, Sikkim continued its protectorate status with the Union of India after 1947, and it's interesting to know that it enjoyed the highest literacy rate as well as per capita income among the Himalayan states. Only in 1975, that is after the Indian Army took over the city of Gangtok, a referendum was held and which led to the deposition of monarchy, and Sikkim joined India as its 22nd state. So in 1975, Sikkim was declared as a state. Next important points related to Sikkim is that it is a state in northeastern India, which is mainly located in the eastern Himalayas. Its capital is Gangtok. Next, it is the only state that is being bordered by 3 countries and 1 state of India. So we'll see the map here. We can see that in the north it is China, it is bordered by China. In the west it is bordered by Nepal, whereas in the southeast it is bordered by Bhutan, and in the south there is West Bengal. Talking about the geography, Mountain Kanchenjunga is situated here. The Kanchenjunga National Park is India's high elevation conservation area. So in 2016, UNESCO declared Kanchenjunga National Park as a World Heritage Site under the mixed category. So major rivers here are Teesta River and its tributaries such as Rangit, Lonak, Talung and Lachung. Major passes, important passes in Sikkim are Jelepla Pass, which connects Sikkim with autonomous region of Tibet, that is China, and Nathula Pass, which connects Sikkim with autonomous region of Tibet. Sikkim, one interesting fact about Sikkim is that it is the first state in the world that is 100% organic, and all of its farmland is certified organic. Next, we'll talk about Basava Jayanti. So, Prime Minister of India has paid tribute to Jagat Guru Basaveshwaras on the occasion of Basava Jayanti. Talking about Jagat Guru Basaveshwara, he was the 12th century philosopher, statesman and a social reformer. He was Lingayat saint in the Shiva focused Bhakti movement, also a Hindu Saivite social reformer. During the Kalyani Chalukya, that is the Kalchuri dynasty, he is also known as Bhakti Bhandari, which means the treasure of devotion. Basava is known to spread social awareness through his poetry known as Vachnas. Basava fought against inhuman practices of the caste system, which discriminated against people based on their birth. Basava, just like Gautam Buddha, taught people how to live happily in a rational social order, and which later came to be known as the Sarana movement. So this Sarana movement attracted people from all castes, and like most strands of the Bhakti movement, it produced a corpus of literature, vachanas that unveiled the spiritual universe. The Anubhav Mantapa, that is Academy of Mystics, Saints and Philosophers of the Lingayat faith in 12th century, it was established by Basava and it laid down the foundation of social democracy in India. Basava believed that man became great not by their birth but by their conduct in the society. He also taught the dignity of manual labor by insisting on work as worship. Next, news is about a study of World Health Organization and International Labour Organization. It has linked the long working hours with an increased number of deaths. So the long working hours has led to a 7.45 lakh deaths from stroke and heart disease in 2016, a 29% increase since 2000. More about the findings of the report. In a first global analysis of loss of life and health associated with working long hours, WHO and ILO estimate that in 2016, 3.98 lakh people died from stroke and 3.47 lakh people died from heart disease as a result of working for long hours, which was at least 55 hours a week. So between 2000 and 2016, the number of deaths from heart disease due to working long hours increased by 42% and from stroke by 19%. This work-related disease burden was particularly higher in case of men, also people living in Western Pacific and Southeast Asia regions, and middle-aged or older workers. So working long hours was responsible for about 1/3 of the total estimated work-related burden of disease. It had a high risk factor. Study concluded that working 55 or more hours per week is associated with an estimated 35% higher risk of a stroke and a 17% higher risk of dying from heart disease compared to working 35 to 40 hours a week. So while these figures are of 2016, the analysis is very relevant in the current times due to COVID-19 pandemic. It has actually accelerated the developments related to working long hours. Teleworking has become a new norm and it has actually blurred the boundaries between home and work. So earlier people used to work from 9 to 6 or 10 to 7, but now there's no limit as to the working hours. Work can come at any time. So this pandemic has led to an increase in the working hours, and also this trend has put even more number of people at the risk of work related disability and early death. So the points related to this topic can be used in mains answer writing in topics of ethics and also of society. And as work from home has become a burning topic, so relevant points from this topic can be taken and used in mains answer writing. So all for today now. You can, if you like the video, you can like, share and subscribe. Thank you.